Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Game of the Week. We're once again in the Boston City TV studios. Hopefully next week we will be using our production truck once again from BNN and covering these Boston City League games. It's hard to believe, folks, but a week from today is actually the first round of the Boston City League playoffs. Those are coming up in just 7 days, so a lot of teams got to squeeze a lot of games in right now because of the restart that happened after about a 3 or 4 week stoppage in the season. And of course, it's towards the end of the year. You had some snow games that were delayed, so a lot to happen between now and Friday, but a lot of teams are kind of jockeying for position in that city playoff spot, and two of those teams are the teams we're going to be covering tonight. The Jeremiah Burke Bulldogs are visiting the Tech Boston Bears on the boys' side of Boston City League basketball, and these are the two teams that have won state championships over the last couple of years. The Burke Bulldogs won back in 2020. The Tech Boston Bears won in 2018 and 2019. So these have been two of the top programs in the Boston City League for quite some time now. And you look at this season, they are once again positioned to at least make a run in the City League playoffs, if not the state tournament. Both these teams are in second place in their respective Boston City League divisions, which means they should make the City League playoff first round if they continue on the stretch that they are. We'll start off with the Jeremiah Burke Bulldogs, who just split 2 games with Charlestown to actually put them slightly ahead of Charlestown in the City League standings. So if they stay where they are, they will make the City League playoffs. Burke is a very young team. They're really led by 2 sophomores, Ramsey Checo and Nakeem Singleton. Singleton is a big, hulking center, low post player. You're going to see him out on the floor. And Ramsey has been one of the most talented players in the city over the past 2 years, and he's going to be a lot of fun to watch. But the player that really holds their team together is Takai Galloway. Takai is a senior this season. Coach Ryan talked about him playing point guard last year. He was out of position, but did it to help the team. He's just one of those kind of players. So he's going to be all over the floor tonight as the one senior leader that starts for this Burke team. So they have a senior, they have 2 sophomores who are very good players, and they have 2 very good freshmen that also start for them. So a very young Burke basketball team, and we'll see how that youth fares tonight against a very senior-laden Tech Boston Bears team. They also made the City League playoffs last year and then lost to New Mission in the City League semifinals last season in 2021 in that abbreviated season, and they are right back at it again this year. They're 8-3 coming into this game, and they could certainly use another league win, but they are sitting in second place in their respective Boston City League division as well. They're led by 2 seniors, Elijah Clooney, and then also Yusuf Buko, who's a very talented scorer for this Tech Boston team. But it's not just going to be those 2 guys. Tech Boston is one of those teams that likes to rotate through all their players. Coach Johnny Williams said, we start 5 players, obviously, but we have really 7 players that we can start on any particular night. It just depends on how well practice went for each player the day before. So there's a lot of versatility with this Tech Boston Bears team and a lot of position flexibility for Tech Boston. They have a lot of guys that are 5'11" to 6'4", like right around in that kind of wing size with a lot of length. And of course, with Tech Boston, you know that they are going to play a lot of tough defense. That's their calling card. That's what this program has been known for since they started winning state championships 3 or 4 years ago. Coach Williams even mentioned that practices are dogfights. They try to make practice more difficult than the games. They try to make the intensity in practice tougher than the intensity in the game, so that when players do get to games, it just feels easier than it does in practice. So, and I'm sure that's the same way this year for the Tech Boston Bears. They've also had some of their former players come back and practice with them as well. So they've made practices really difficult, and Tech Boston's hoping they can make another run in the city playoffs and state tournament as well. This should be a good one here at Tech Boston Academy in Dorchester. Opening tap, and Tech Boston controls it to get things going. Tech Boston in the all-white uniforms with the red trim. Jeremiah Burke in the all-blue uniforms with the black trim. As I mentioned, Bears very quick. A lot of athleticism. Misses the 3-point shot, but the Bears are able to corral the offensive rebound. They try to feed it inside. A good swing of the basketball. Corner 3 around the rim and out. Singleton can't come up with the defensive rebound. That goes off of Tech Boston back to the Jeremiah Burke Bulldogs. For Burke, there you see Takai Galloway, the senior, and that's Ramsey Checo. I'm sorry, that's Jashad Fenton bringing up the ball there for the Burke Bulldogs. Fenton, just a freshman for this Burke team. Galloway with it at the top of the key. They feed it inside to the big fella. Singleton collects himself, gets the hoop and the harm. Nakeem Singleton score the bucket and the foul for the big fella. He'll now head to the free throw line for a 3-point play. Coach Ryan mentioned it earlier in the week. He said, I've never really had a big back to the basket senior. I've always had more of the athletic, versatile seniors, so it's a new sort of player to have for this Burke program since Coach Ryan's been there. Misses the free throw, but it's Galloway coming up with the offensive rebound. Burke's going to reset. Fenton kicks it out to Roberts. Fenton now at the top of the key, and that's going to be a 3-second violation, I believe, on the big fella, Nakeem Singleton. It's Clooney trying to get it into Bucco. Clooney being guarded full court by Galloway. Clooney looking to get to the rim, can't finish off the window, but Tech Boston gets on the offensive glass. That was Jamal Bogue coming up with the offensive rebound. That'll stay with the Bears as Tech Boston looks for their first basket. Almost stolen away, and now it's Bucco with it top of the key. Bucco, mid-range pull-up, gets it to go. So Bucco ties it up at 2 here in the early goings of the first quarter. Nice feed inside to Roberts. So Galloway with the assist, Jaden Roberts with the cut. And it's a 2-point lead once again for Jeremiah Burke. Jaden Roberts, also a freshman for this Burke basketball team. We saw Jaden a lot during BNBL. His dad, Roger Roberts, has actually been a coach in BNBL for a long time. Bucco off the up fake, buries the jumper. Bucco is a very talented scorer. He can score buckets in bunches for this Tech Boston team. Galloway looking inside. Fenton going to the hoop. Short on the runner. Singleton looking for the putback. He does not get the bucket, but he will get 2 from the charity stripe. Singleton 0 for 1 so far here from the free throw line. Now 0 for 2. Substitution for Tech Boston as Kervensley Blanc comes in. Kervensley, a junior. More of a stretch big for this Tech Boston team. As Singleton's second free throw rattles home, so a 1-point lead here for Jeremiah Burke. About 5 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Nice feed inside there for Tech Boston. Stolen away there by Fenton. Fenton gets it poked away by Blanc. So Kervensley Blanc comes off the bench, comes up with the poke steal for the Tech Boston Bears. Being closely guarded by Fenton. Blanc using his quickness to get to the basket, can't squeeze it home. Inside of the big fella once again, trying for the drop step. Gets it poked away. Here comes Bucco. Back down the other end. Bucco loses it on the way up. Elijah Clooney, though, comes up with a loose ball, fires a 3, and it's off the back rim. Blanc with an offensive rebound. Can't get the putback to go. And it looks like we got an offensive foul on the Tech Boston Bears trying to go after the rebound. Might have been Yusuf Bucco who come up with that one. In a couple of the losses that Tech Boston has endured this season, it's been Bucco fouling out that has really hurt them. So we'll see if he can kind of control the foul trouble so far. There's Ramsey Checo feeding it into Singleton. Good swing. Fenton for three. Around the rim and out. Checo can't corral the offensive rebound. Buko looking for an opening. Buko can't hit that mid-range shot. Galloway comes up with the rebound. Look at the floor to Singleton, up to Fenton for the wide-open layup. Nice looking outlet pass there for the Burke Bulldogs. Galloway to Singleton to Fenton on the break. 3-point lead here for the Burke Bulldogs. With about 3 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Skip pass saved that time by Tech Boston. Clooney pulls up from the elbow and gets it to go. Elijah Clooney with his first bucket of the first quarter. Cuts the Burke lead back down to 1. Checo looking for a screen from Singleton. Fenton trying another three. Can't get that one to go down. Corner three. Off the mark that time from Tech Boston's Kurt Brooks. Quickly back down the other end goes Burke. Galloway. That was Checo looking for a three. Can't get it to go. Neither team able to hit from the outside so far in this one. Tech Boston's had a couple of mid-range shots go down. They're going to call a blocking foul, I believe, on Jaden Roberts. Pull-up jumper is good that time from Yusuf Buko, and that's his game. Coach Williams actually mentioned how he used to dribble a little bit too much offensively. He's got a nice little one-dribble pull-up jump shot now that's really helped him carve out space and find openings for open looks. 1-point lead now for Tech Boston. Checo off the crossover. Checo feeds it inside to Singleton, and Singleton's going to head back to the free throw line. Akeem Singleton currently 1 for 3 from the free throw line. We'll see if the big sophomore can have a little more luck at the stripe this time around. And he cannot knock down the first. He's got a nice stroke, just not going in for him at the moment. Singleton will have one more, see if he can tie it up here late in the first quarter. And he does. So we're tied up at 8 here with just a couple of minutes left to go in the first quarter. Burke against Tech Boston at Tech Boston Academy. Both these schools in Dorchester. These two teams have not played so far this season. There's a deep three from Clooney. Nothing but nylon for Elijah Clooney. Gives Tech Boston a 3-point lead. Jaden Roberts. Checo, corner three. Answers Clooney with a three of his own. So Ramsey Checo with his first bucket. It's a trifecta. We're tied up at 11. Stolen away by Burke. Galloway. Trying to feed it inside to Checo to Singleton. Big fella can't finish. Second effort, though, gets Singleton 2 more free throws here in the first quarter. Singleton has had 5 free throw attempts already here in the first quarter. He's going to get 2 more right here. Unable to hit the first. Singleton rattles home the second. So 1 point lead here for Jeremiah Burke. Fenton really playing close D there on Elijah Clooney. Pull-up jumper from Brooks around the rim and out. Singleton comes up with the rebound. Quickly out to Roberts, then Fenton scores off the window. Extends Burke's lead to 3 here late in the first quarter. Corner 3 before the buzzer is no good. So after 1 here at Tech Boston Academy, it's the Burke Bulldogs on top of the Tech Boston Bears, 14-11. And you're seeing Jeremiah Burke sort of do what they want to do offensively. They're getting into the big guy, and then Singleton either goes towards the rim or tries to find an open teammate. Burke's really sharing the basketball nicely so far here in the first quarter, because you have Singleton with a lot of opportunities. You saw Ramsey Checo knock down the corner 3. Galloway is involved across the board as we expected. And you see both Fenton and Roberts knocking down shots. So the entire starting lineup did a good job getting shots for their open teammates so far there in the first quarter. We'll see if Burke can continue that. You know, for a young team, they seem to pass the ball really well. Remember, they got 2 sophomores starting and 2 freshmen starting to go along with their 1 senior, Takai Galloway. Meanwhile, for Tech Boston, they haven't been able to knock down any threes. They do have some players who can knock them down. They just have one, actually. It's Elijah Clooney who hit the 1-3 for Tech Boston. Bucco, when he can get open space, has got a deadly mid-range game. So we'll see if he can try to come up with some more opportunities with the mid-range game here in the second quarter. Burke starts off the second quarter with the basketball, down by up by 3. Another nice feed inside to Singleton. Good defense by Blanc and Bucco to steal it away. Both teams playing tight defense on the perimeter. Nice feed to Blanc. Reverse layup doesn't roll, but Blanc will get 2 free throws. Blanc cannot knock down the first. Both teams struggling from the free throw line here in the first half. Blanc unable to knock down the second. Rebound comes down to Jeremiah Burke. Burke took Singleton out. He has 5 points and 5 rebounds to go along with 1 assist. So he's the leading scorer for Burke in that first quarter. Meanwhile, it was Bucco who had 6 points and 2 rebounds to lead Tech Boston. Clooney also had 5 points and 2 rebounds in that first quarter. So the players that we thought would be, the most involved and top scorers for these two teams were those players in the first quarter. We'll see how each team responds. Neither team able to get a basket so far here in the early goings of the second quarter. We're still stuck on 14-11. Nice drive there by Fenton. Might have shuffled his feet. Yep, maybe call a travel there on the young freshman. Deep 3 again from Clooney, and it's nothing but net for the Tech Boston senior. He ties it up at 14 apiece here early in the second quarter. Michael De Leon also in for the Tech Boston Bears. Michael, a junior player for this Tech Boston team. Of course, Williams mentioned that De Leon's the most improved player on this Tech Boston Bears team. So you see him off the up fake. 3-ball, top of the key, around the rim and out that time from Tech Boston. Galloway. Checo. Good kick out to the perimeter. 3-ball didn't fall down, but a good offensive rebound that time from Burke's Kiemki Solomon. Kiemeki Solomon, who's a senior on this team, able to keep it alive for Burke here on this possession. You got Solomon, also Kaiser Fitzpatrick in there, so a small lineup for Jeremiah Burke. Ramsey Checo on the reverse layup. Ramsey hasn't been scoring quite as much this year as a sophomore, but he's doing everything that Coach Ryan's been asking him to do. I think those points are going to come soon enough for the very talented Ramsey Checo. Vensley Blanc now back in for Tech Boston as Kurt Brooks heads to the bench. Three-ball around the rim and out there for the Tech Boston Bears. Still haven't been able to put one down, and that one goes off the foot of the Burke Bulldogs. And it looks like Tech Boston called the timeout here midway through the second quarter. Burke on top 16-14. Neither team really shooting well from the outside. A lot of threes shot, but not a lot have gone down so far here in this one. And Coach Ryan actually mentioned that 2 games ago, when they lost to Charlestown in their first matchup with Charlestown, the Burke Bulldogs did not knock down a 3 in that game and actually ended up losing by 3 points. So, you know, sometimes they've had spurts this year where they have not been able to knock down open shots. They're also in their visiting gym. It's interesting to see that Tech Boston has not knocked down too many threes here. They're in their home gym. You know, it's senior night for Tech Boston. They actually did not have a game yesterday, so you would think after having practice yesterday and you know, the game at home here today, they'd be shooting a little bit better. But sometimes it just takes a quarter and a half, 2 quarters to get going. Sometimes too, you know, these teams might flip ends and both teams shoot better at the opposite basket. Sometimes that happens too. There's no science to it. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just kind of the way it is sometimes. So we'll see if these two teams can improve on their outside shooting here as we are under 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. So we've got a traveling violation there on Tech Boston's Jamal Bogue. Singleton back in there for Burke. As Galloway looks for an opening. Galloway, mid-range jumper. Can't go down. Singleton, offensive rebound. Put back, no good. Can't hold on to the second offensive board as Blanc comes away with it for Tech Boston. But Vensley Blanc has really provided a spark off the bench for this Tech Boston Bears team, giving them some size against the big Singleton. Blanc hesitated there. He actually almost probably had a little bit of a mid-range shot if he could pull up there. But he sort of wasn't, it looked like he was unsure of himself if he should shoot or if he should pass the ball. Results in a treble. Stolen away that time by Tech Boston. That's De Leon, who gets swatted away by Galloway. Clooney comes up with a loose ball. Heck of a block there by Galloway on the fast break. Clooney, corner 3, gets it to go. Clooney now with 3 three-pointers knocked down for the Tech Boston Bears. He's the one player out on the floor right now who's able to hit from the outside. Gives Tech Boston a 1-point lead here midway through the second quarter. Galloway. All the way to the bucket, can't squeeze it home. Singleton, offensive rebound, put back, no good. Deep three from Burke off the, around the rim and out. I think we got an over the back call that time, and Elijah Clooney. Jaden Roberts now back in for the Burke Bulldogs. Jaden is a shooter. Anybody seen him play in BNBL and even in the middle school side of things? We'll see if he can get the outside shooting going for Jeremiah Burke. Meanwhile, Tech Boston's got their outside shooter. Clooney's now got three three-pointers made so far here in the first half. So Galloway now at the free throw line shooting 1-1, so Burke will be in the bonus the rest of the quarter. Galloway buries the first, so he'll get one more. Galloway no good on the second, and Blanc comes away with the rebound. Blanc on the drive, and they're going to call another traveling violation on Blanc. Couldn't quite see where that it might have been a double dribble. Couldn't quite see where he traveled there. Looked like he regained his dribble properly, but the ref's in a better position to make that call than I am. Tied up at 17 here with about 3 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Burke Bulldogs and Tech Boston Bears. Both teams trying to stay in the city playoff hunt. That's going to be a backcourt violation on Jeremiah Burke. Ramsey Checo going to head back in. And Jasad Fenton also coming back in for the Burke Bulldogs. Clooney, another deep three, hits another one. Elijah Clooney now with 4 threes here in the first half, and none of them have hit the rim. They've been all net. Gives the Bears a 3-point lead. Fenton all the way to the bucket. Nifty move, couldn't finish for the Bulldogs. Blanc with another rebound for Tech Boston. Corner three for Brooks, well off the mark. Rebound comes down to Singleton. Here comes Fenton back down the other end. Finishes the layup. Cuts the Tech Boston lead down to 1. Back and forth we go here at Tech Boston Academy. Blanc elbow jumper, buries it. Beautiful little elbow jumper, about a foot from the elbow for Kervensley Blanc. Extends Tech Boston's lead back to 3. And that's an offensive foul there on Burke. Might have been a moving screen, I think, on Jaden Roberts. Got about 1:25 left to go here in the second quarter. 3-point lead for the Tech Boston Bears. Corner three, rattles home finally there for Tech Boston's Kurt Brooks, I believe, was the one who hit that one from the corner. Kurt's been trying all half and was able to knock that one down. Before that, it was only Clooney and Bucco who were the scorers for Tech Boston until Blanc hit that jumper and then Brooks hit that corner three. Galloway with the pull-up jumper from the top of the key. Four-point ball game. Clooney tries the jumper. Can't get it to go. Checo with the rebound. Checo tries to squeeze it home, swatted by Blanc, corner three from Fenton. Here comes Bucco back down the other end. Bucco all the way to the rim. Good looking run here for Tech Boston. They've had about a 10-4 run here late in the second quarter. Beautiful lay down to Singleton that time by Fenton. And just at the half here from Tech Boston Academy, it's the Tech Boston Bears. We have 27, Burke 23. We'll see if we can get that score straightened away. But, you know, it was a back and forth game throughout the first half there, but it was really the Tech Boston Bears who went on a nice run to end that second quarter. Tech Boston with, I believe, about a 10-4 run to finish things up there in the second quarter. You saw their seniors start to come out to play. It was in the beginning of the game. It was just Clooney and Bucco who were making those baskets and scoring for Tech Boston. But you saw Blanc come in and finally knock down that elbow jumper, and Kurt Brooks, who was trying all half to try to knock down a three, rattled one home that really jump-started their offense there. And Burke went on that, or excuse me, Tech Boston went on the nice run there at the end of the second quarter to extend their lead to at least 4, maybe 5. We'll check on that scoring. Meanwhile, for Jeremiah Burke, still playing well, but, you know, the big fella missed a bunch of free throws. Galloway was 1 for 2 from the free throw line, so they have to convert on those opportunities. They also were in the bonus there late in the second quarter. So if they get in that same situation in the second half, they got to hit their free throws. In close games, you really got to hit your free throws. But Burke's also, you know, you can see that they're a little young, especially with Fenton and Roberts, but they're also very talented. Coach Ryan really likes his team, and they're going to hang with anybody, and they're hanging right now with the Tech Boston Bears. So I don't expect this one to be a double-digit win for either team by any means. This is going to be a good game all the way down to the finish. So both teams look very impressive here in the first half from Tech Boston Academy in Dorchester. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we will have the start of the third quarter from Tech Boston Academy in Dorchester here on Game of the Week. Make sure you stick around.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
How prepared is your family if disaster shows up at your doorstep? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan before they show up. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes!
Make a plan today.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out?
Listen,
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look.
Sam, Elmo. Oh, hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum.
Drum loud. Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma.
Noah. Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
How you doing? Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Thank you.
A place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Of game of the week between the Jeremiah Burke Bulldogs and the Tech Boston Bears. Tech Boston leads Jeremiah Burke 27-23. We're just about ready to start the third quarter here on Game of the Week. I'm going to give you some halftime stats here as we get ready to start the third quarter. And first off, I'm going to start off with the Burke Bulldogs. The big fella, Nakeem Singleton, 7 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist there in the first half. Missed 4 or 5 free throws, so if he knocked down a couple more of those, he'd probably be in double digits. Ramsey Checo with just 5 points. I wouldn't be shocked if he scored a lot more in the second half. Galloway, Takai Galloway, kind of the do-everything player for Jeremiah Burke. 3 points, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. So no shock there that he's filling up the stat sheet across the board. Jasad Fenton, the young point guard, freshman, 6 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. And Jaden Roberts, 2 points and an assist for the Burke Bulldogs. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ball for Tech Boston Bears, Yusuf Buko with 8 points, all mid-range jumpers, or 3 mid-range jumpers in that one drive at the end of the game, end of the half rather. 4 rebounds for him and 1 assist. Meanwhile, Elijah Clooney got 3 from behind the arc, 14 points total, and then that's to go along with his 2 rebounds. Brooks at the end of the half there, I believe they counted that as a 3 initially. It was actually a 2. They corrected it at the end of the half there, so it is 27 points for Tech Boston. Brooks knocked down a 2, so that was his only basket of the first half. 1 rebound and 2 assists for Brooks. Jamal Bogue, no points, but he does have 1 rebound, 2 assists. And then Blanc with 2 points. He had that one really nice turnaround elbow jumper. And then he also had 4 rebounds off the bench. So he really provided a spark on the inside, especially defensively, to bring some size in there for Tech Boston. They don't have a ton of size as usual, but he's kind of that versatile stretch big that Tech Boston likes to have, and defensively he can pull down the rebound. So that was big for the Bears there in the first half. Stats overall for the team: Burke 23 points. They had 12 team rebounds and 6 team assists. Meanwhile, for Tech Boston, 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 team assists. So both teams sharing the basketball well. We really saw in that first quarter, neither team could really get it going from behind the arc. But there you saw in the second quarter, Tech Boston did. You saw Clooney knock down 3 threes, and then Brooks, his foot was on the line, but he basically knocked down a 3 at the end of the half there as well. So I think Tech Boston is going to continue to shoot well. It's up to Burke to see if they can knock down some threes in the second half. And then, as I mentioned before, knock down some free throws, because Singleton missed a few. Takai Galloway was 1 for 2 from the free throw line. And as we've always mentioned, in close games, you got to knock down your free throws. And we saw it there late in the first half as well. Tech Boston got in foul trouble a little bit team-wise, and Burke was in the bonus. So if you want to take advantage of being in the bonus, you got to knock down your free throws, especially when you're trailing. That's when you can make up points quickly. So we'll see if Burke can do that. Both these teams get after it defensively. I mean, anybody who's seen these two teams in the Boston City League knows that they play really good defense on both sides of the ball here between Tech Boston and Jeremiah Burke. That's why these two teams have won state championships in the last couple of years. So you saw it, both teams guarding full court. Their point guards guarding the opposing point guards the full length of the floor. And then their bigs actually getting out and running on defense as well in transition. So both teams have really done a nice job on the defensive end. We just need to see if they can get their shots down, here in the second half. Like I mentioned before, with Burke not hitting a ton of outside shots to start the game in the first half. You see Ramsey Checo knocked down that 1-3. We'll see if Burke can start to knock him down in the second half. Sometimes when you change ends and you go to a different basket, sometimes that helps you out on the offensive end, and it helps you knock down some outside shots in addition to scoring on the inside. And again, they need to hit their free throws. So important. We'll see if Burke can get to the free throw line and knock down free throws as well. For Tech Boston, they haven't shot a lot of free throws, so we'll see if the Bears maybe will go to the basket a little bit more here in the second half. So Tech Boston starts off the third quarter with the basketball, up by 4 on Jeremiah Burke. And that was almost stolen away there by Jashad Fenton. It's going to stay with the with the Tech Boston Bears. Brooks inside, knocks down the mid-range jumper. So Kurt Brooks, after being somewhat cool from the outside in the first half, knocks down a deep 2 to end the first half, and then gets that mid-range jumper to start things off in the third quarter. 6-point lead here for the Tech Boston Bears. Offensive foul on Jeremiah Burke. Looked like that was Galloway with the moving screen. Another mid-range jumper that time from Tech Boston, but it was missed. Stolen away by Bucco and then swatted away by Roberts. So Roberts commits the turnover, but then hangs tough defensively to get the block. But that'll stay with Tech Boston. Mid-range floater that time goes down for Tech Boston's Gilles Campbell. His first basket of the game. Another one of those rotational players for Tech Boston. They play about 7 guys as Fenton drives to the bucket, and he'll get 2 from the charity stripe. I can see why Jasad is starting as a freshman. He handles the ball really well. He didn't just fire down the court and go to the basket. He sort of surveyed the floor a little bit, then saw an opening, and then darted to the rim. And that's the kind of control you need out of your point guard. Good to see that out of a freshman for the Burke Bulldogs. Fenton knocks down the first free throw. Vensley Blanc coming back in for Tech Boston and give them a little bit more size here to start off the third quarter. Fenton no good on the second free throw. So, and then that was a traveling violation on Bucco. He got the rebound and then took 2 steps. See if Burke can take advantage of that Tech Boston turnover. Checo back up top, gets it poked away by Brooks. Brooks looking for Bucco. It's going to be a kick ball, reset the shot clock, and Tech Boston will hang on to possession. Brooks fouled in the corner. Galloway's pleading with the ref, saying that it was a clean block, but Brooks gets the call there as Galloway commits the foul. Kurt Brooks will now head to the charity stripe for the Tech Boston Bears. And Brooks knocks down the first. Brooks knocks down the second. He'll get one more. It looks like Brooks' mask might have broken off. So he'll just have to get another one. Now he's all set. He'll shoot his final free throw. Three for 3 from the stripe is Brooks, and there you see the difference right now in this game. It's now a 10-point game. Tech Boston much better at the free throw line so far in this one. Another turnover there for the Bulldogs as Brooks count the hoop and the harm. Elijah Brooks. I'm sorry, Kurt Brooks. Had trouble scoring in the first half, but all of a sudden has come out here in the second half. He's now got 7 points to kick things off in the third quarter. Cannot complete that free throw. Blanc comes away with the offensive rebound. Block inside, no good from Singleton. Another steal that time by Tech Boston. Quickly up to Clooney. Clooney all the way to the bucket. Extends the lead back to 10 here for Tech Boston. That's going to be a timeout by the Burke Bulldogs as Tech Boston goes on a nice run here to start things off in the third quarter. They extend their lead to 12. There you see Burke, when you're young and you're trailing, especially even, early in the second half, you try to do a little bit too much. I think that's what's going on with Burke right now. Some of their young players are committing some turnovers, and they're trying to do a little too much here in the third quarter. Meanwhile, the Tech Boston, this is what they do. They apply pressure. They try to make their gym a very difficult place to play, and they create a lot of pressure, especially out on the wing against opposing teams, and you're seeing that right now. A lot of length, a lot of versatility, as we mentioned, too. Tech Boston is a very versatile team. Coach Williams, very good coach. He's got a very good coaching staff with him as well. With both Coach Desai and Coach Whitehall. So that staff has done a nice job with this Tech Boston Bears team. And right now they have a 15-point lead here in the third quarter. See if Burke can stop the bleeding here after the timeout. They try to feed it inside to Singleton. Almost another turnover there for the Burke Bulldogs. Fenton looking to go to work against Bucco. Nice feed inside to Roberts, who finishes underneath. So the freshman to freshman hook up there stops the bleeding for Jeremiah Burke. Corner three from Clooney around the rim and out that time. Singleton comes up with the rebound. Jaden Roberts. If they can get Jaden an open look for a three, they might loosen things up on the inside for Jeremiah Burke. Oh, Fenton slipped that time, and a steal by Clooney. They're going to call Clooney for a double dribble. It did look like he grabbed the ball, dribbled, picked it up, and then dribbled again. So definitely a close one there. Trap in the corner there by Tech Boston. That'll stay with the Burke Bulldogs. Foul at half court. Ranzaceko back in, and he's fouled immediately by Clooney. This is where Tech Boston could get in trouble. In their losses this year, they've gotten in foul trouble, especially Bucco. You saw Burke getting the bonus there midway through the second quarter. Burke's gonna try to feed it inside to Singleton, and they're able to. The big fella converts off the window. Burke now cuts the lead back down to 11 here midway through the third quarter. Brooks for three off the back rim. And Singleton can't corral it. It's poked away by Bucco, but that's going to go back to Jeremiah Burke. And Shakai Campbell came down with the rebound there for the Bulldogs. Looks like the referees are trying to get the shot clock corrected. Looks like the shot clock actually might be out at the moment. I think Tech Boston just forced a 5-second violation. That seemed to be a quick 5-second violation right there. Oh, okay, it looks like, I think what happened is Bucco, I think, might have stepped on the line, and I think he got a warning. Next time that's going to be, I believe, a technical on Tech Boston. Another turnover there for Jeremiah Burke, as that'll go back to the Tech Boston Bears. Things happening a little too fast for this young Burke Bulldogs team. As we mentioned, this is what Tech Boston does. They create pressure, they force turnovers, they make it very difficult on opponents, especially on the offensive end. Corner three from Bucco. He got undercut, so he's going to get 3 free throws. First free throw is rattled home there for Yusuf Bucco. He'll have one more. Knocks down the second. Excuse me, I forgot he shot a three. He was shooting a three when he got fouled, so he'll get 3 total free throws. So he'll have one more now. Another substitution for Jeremiah Burke. Coming back in as the senior point guard, Kayamike Solomon, as Buko knocks down the third free throw. So 3 for 3 from the free throw line is Buko. And like I mentioned before, Tech Boston shooting it better from the free throw line, and that's what's given them this double-digit lead. Now up by 14 on Jeremiah Burke. Ramsey Checo. Back out to Fenton, kicks over the corner. Jaden Roberts, pull-up jumper. Doesn't go for him. Clooney with the rebound for Tech Boston. Brooks buries the mid-range jumper. Boy, Brooks has really come on here in the third quarter. Buko guarding Ramsey Checo. That's a lot of length for Checo to deal with. Fancy finish. Doesn't fall for Checo. Quickly up the floor goes Blanc, who goes all the way to the bucket, can't finish. Clooney there for the putback. Fenton all the way to the bucket, can't get it to go. He's going to get 2 from the charity stripe. Fenton buries the first. Ty Galloway back in for Jeremiah Burke. Checo heading to the bench. Fenton 2 for 2 from the free throw line. 16-point lead for Tech Boston. Stolen away that time by Solomon, and that's another turnover by Jeremiah Burke, so it'll go back to Tech Boston. So as soon as Burke gets a turnover, they turn it right back over. So Jeremiah Burke got to clean up the possessions here and try to create points off of turnovers. Looks like Fenton might have even slipped when he lost the ball that time. Top of the key, jumper no good. Offensive rebound, kick out. We apologize. It looks like we've lost our feed here for a minute, so we'll see if we can get the feed back momentarily. But you saw Tech Boston really taking it to Burke there in the third quarter as they were able to share the basketball. They also create turnovers. That's what they do on the Tech Boston side, is create turnovers and turn them into points. So Tech Boston, with that lead, double digits, I think it's going to be tough for Jeremiah Burke really to come back. Burke hasn't really been able to knock things down from the outside throughout this entire game, never mind here in the second half. So we'll see if Burke can make some adjustments. Right now, the senior-laden Tech Boston Bears seem to have the upper hand right now here against Jeremiah Burke. So, folks, I think we're actually going to head to break so we can see if we can get our feedback here from Tech Boston Academy. But for right now, we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back here with the game. Oh, we do have our feedback. Outstanding. So our guys behind the scenes doing a great job here with this game. And we got the feedback here. Cameraman Rich Rosenthal doing a fantastic job helping us out with this live stream as well. So we should be all set. But Tech Boston with a lead right now, well over double digits here late in the third quarter. They're on top 48-30 with 1:40 left to go here in the third. And right now, things sort of just coming apart at the seams for Jeremiah Burke here in the second half. That run, Kurt Brooks has had a heck of a third quarter here for Tech Boston. And it's really been tough sledding for Burke. As there you see a traveling violation on Michael De Leon. So there's a turnover for Tech Boston. Now Burke's got to capitalize. They got to try to turn this into points here late in the third quarter. Maybe try to get it down to maybe 12, even 10 here at the end of the third quarter, so they can get some momentum heading into the fourth. Fenton off the swing, tries to kick it to the corner. Got it knocked away. Now back up top, stolen away by Bucco. Yusuf Bucco down the other end, tries for the two-handed flush. Couldn't put it down, then swiped away. Galloway quickly up the floor to the big fella, and Singleton couldn't quite corral the basketball. It was a low pass towards his feet, and he also was looking to try to score a basket there and just was not able to corral the ball there on the other end of the floor. That sort of sums up this third quarter here for Jeremiah Burke. A lot of effort, just haven't been able to put up the points. Fenton gets it poked away again. There you see Burke with the turnover, but can't capitalize. Now it's De Leon losing the basketball on the other end. So both teams getting a little sloppy here late in the third quarter, but this up and down action is what Tech Boston wants. This is their game. But Jeremiah Burke has to kind of slow things down and kind of regroup here late in the third quarter. Galloway towards the bucket, flushes it home for the Burke Bulldogs. We'll see if that gives them a spark here late in the quarter. Bucco, elbow jumper off the back iron. Picked up by Fenton. Rashad Fenton looks for an opening, can't squeeze it home. Surprised they didn't call a goaltend there, that looks close. But Bucco, heck of a hustle play there, as the three doesn't go down for Tech Boston. So at the end of the third quarter, it's the Tech Boston Bears on top of the Burke Bulldogs, 48-32. You see Coach Ryan trying to plead with the ref, saying that was a goaltend on that layup attempt by Fenton. But not sure if he's going to necessarily get that call. We'll see what happens there if they change the score here to start things off in the fourth quarter. But heck of a third quarter there for Tech Boston, as they were able to rattle off several, quick runs of points there in the third quarter. They caused a lot of turnovers. You saw Brooks kind of come alive there in the third quarter as well. And now it's up to Jeremiah Burke to try to clean things up. They're down 16, so they need to come out in this fourth quarter and go on a run of their own. Even if it's just a 6 to 8 point run, get them back down to single digit, get the game back down to a single digit deficit. That will definitely help them out and see if they can climb back into this thing. But if you see Tech Boston go on another quick run to start the fourth quarter, it's going to be very tough for Jeremiah Burke to try to come back in this one. And certainly just a tough team to try to come back against here on their home gym. I mean, Tech Boston's been this type of team for years, since Johnny Williams been, with this program for about 8 or 9 years now. So we'll see what Burke can come up with it, and Tech Boston as a senior-laden team, I'd be shocked if they were going to give up this lead here with. There's 8 seniors on this Tech Boston team, and when you have an experienced group like that, they know how to salt away a victory. So we'll see if the Burke Bulldogs can try to climb back into it. Galloway unable to get that to go. Singleton again with the offensive rebound. He's going to go back to the stripe for Jeremiah Burke. Boy, you speak to either of these coaches, Coach Ryan or Coach Williams, they really like their teams this year. All their kids really love playing the game of basketball, play well together, want to learn. And it hasn't been an easy season. It's been better than last year. Talk to any of these coaches, there you see Singleton knocks down the first free throw. Last year was just, in the middle of the pandemic. It was a condensed season. They played 8 or 9 games. Some kids didn't play last year. They opted out. So it was a very different season last year. This year, a little bit of return to normalcy, but then they had the 3-week pause in the season back in January because of the pandemic. So then coming back now, all these teams have to squeeze in a lot of games. So even Coach Ryan was talking about how these teams don't really have a lot of practice time. As you see Galloway making his way to the bucket, scores the hoop and the harm, so he'll try for the three-point play. And you know, you talk to Coach Ryan about Kai Galloway. He makes these kind of plays and gives energy to this Burke Bulldogs team. There's 5 seniors on this Burke Bulldogs team, but it's Galloway who's really the only one that gets a ton of playing time. You do have Fitzpatrick and also Solomon, who play a little bit for Burke as well. As you see, Galloway converts the three-point play. Now it's Brooks back down the other end, tries to lay it down to Blanc. Not quite sure what happened there as the ball got poked away, then there was a whistle. But it's going to stay with Jeremiah Burke. Down by 12 here in the early goings of the fourth quarter. We'll see if the Bulldogs can regroup here. Roberts getting bumped at the top of the key by Brooks. Like we said before, Tech Boston, when they've lost games is when they've gotten in foul trouble. Obviously, they had the 12-point lead here in the fourth quarter. We mentioned Tech Boston spreading the basketball around well. Clooney has 18 points, Bucco with 11, and Brooks with 11. So they have 3 players in double digits already here heading into the fourth quarter. Roberts to the bucket. I think if Coach Ryan saw that again, he'd say, Jaden, just shoot the basketball. He was close to the rim there. You know, go up strong, maybe try to get to the free throw line. Jaden Roberts trying to do a little too much on that one. Bucco. Good swing there for Tech Boston. De Leon can't hit the three. Blanc on the putback. Squeezes it home for the Bears. Vinsley Blanc doing, once again, a nice job providing some size and athleticism there for Tech Boston. Roberts for 3. Gets that one to go. Jaden Roberts with his first 3 of the night. Cuts the lead back down to 11 here in the fourth quarter. Got to think if they can get Jaden maybe another 3, kind of loosen things up inside, then they can go back to Singleton, get some open looks on the outside with the inside-out game there for Jeremiah Burke. They really needed that 3 from Jaden Roberts right there. But Tech Boston still applying pressure, creating turnovers, making it very difficult on the perimeter for Jeremiah Burke. As you see Coach Ryan talking to his squad right now. You know, Coach Ryan also mentioned, you know, turnovers is what has gotten his team in trouble in the past so far this season. They have 2 actual losses on the season. They did have a loss against, I believe, Doherty High School, which is out over, you know, kind of closer to Wachusett in that area. I don't think that was necessarily counted as a regular season game, but, you know, teams are trying to fit games in all the time. So we'll see if that counts towards their standings. But in their 2, possibly 3 losses this season, it's really been turnovers that have plagued them. They lost to New Mission in overtime just by 3, and then they lost to Charlestown a couple of nights ago by just 3 points after not knocking down anything from the outside. So Burke has not lost a game by double digits so far this season. We'll see if that changes here tonight. But Burke now applying some pressure. They just called an offensive foul on Yusuf Bucco. He swung that elbow, and now Burke has a chance to cut the lead back down to single digits once again here in the fourth quarter. Fenton off the baseline drive, couldn't hang on to it. Bucco comes away with the loose ball. Off the up fake. De Leon inside to Blanc. Blanc gets the reverse lay-in to go. believe we got an offensive foul, I believe, on Jeremiah Burke. He's out of the screen, so we couldn't quite see it. 13-point lead here for Tech Boston midway through the fourth quarter. Tech Boston quickly back down the other end. Swatted away that time by Roberts as Blanc tried to go to the rim. Once again, though, there for Burke. You know, you have a rejection, you're heading back down the other end, and then it gets stolen away again. They haven't been able to capitalize on the turnovers that they've created, but they've also turned the ball over a lot on their end, which has created easy buckets for Tech Boston. So turnovers have really hurt Burke tonight on both ends of it, not capitalizing on the turnovers they create, but also turning the ball over a lot when they are on offense. We got a traveling violation in the corner by Michael De Leon, so that'll go back to Burke. Ramsey Checo trying to go baseline, kicks it out. Galloway tries for the runner, can't get it to go, but he is going to head to the free throw line once again. Like I said before, this is when you're trailing, you have to hit your free throws late in the game. The clock is stopped, and you can score points with the clock stopped when you're at the free throw line. It seems like all night they've had trouble keeping this floor dry. It's one of those times this winter where it's actually pretty warm out. It was in the 50s throughout the day. It's probably in the high 40s, but these players aren't used to it being this warm outside. So I would imagine the gym's a little warmer as well. You still have the heat on in the schools because it is winter time. It's a little warmer outside. It's probably very hot in this gym, I can imagine, as Galloway knocks down the first free throw. Galloway 2 for 2 from the free throw line. 11-point lead here for Tech Boston. And that's stolen away by Galloway. Chance here for Burke to cut it into single digits. Galloway to Fenton. Fenton corner three off the front rim. And Coach Williams, I believe, wants a timeout here late in the fourth quarter. I'm sorry, one of the things you need from a senior. Tech Boston was teetering on giving up their double-digit lead. Clooney comes down, buries the pull-up jumper, 15-point game. Roberts goes back down the other end. He's going to get 2 free throws, but boy, they really could have used that one to go down. If Roberts could have hit that floater and then hit the free throw, it would have cut the Tech Boston lead back down to 10. We'll see if Jaden can knock down these 2 free throws right here. And Roberts hits the second. 12-point lead here for Tech Boston. And a backcourt violation there in the Tech Boston Bears. So once again, Burke with an opportunity here to cut it down, cut the lead down to 10 or even 9 on this possession, but they got to get it done. Just over 3 minutes left to go in this one. Roberts on the drive. Got fouled again on his way up, so he's going to get 2 more free throws. So again, stops the clock, but you got to hit your 2 free throws. Roberts has got to hit these 2 with the clock stopped here in order for Burke to have any chance here at the end of the game. Roberts knocks down the first. Also asking a lot for a freshman to knock down these two pressure free throws here. Roberts misses the second. And that's going to go back to Tech Boston. And that's really been part of the story here tonight for Jeremiah Burke. They've really struggled at the free throw line. If they even went 50% tonight, they'd probably only be down by 4 or 5 points. But they've really struggled from there. Nice steal there for Jeremiah Burke. Lays it down to Ramsey Checo, who can't finish inside, but he's going to get 2 free throws. Nice play there by Solomon. He was able to come up with the steal. So there you see a senior for Burke coming up with a play. Try to keep his team in it. Now we'll see if Ramsey Checo can knock down 2 free throws and cut the Tech Boston lead down to single digits. Checo buries the first. Two for 2 from the stripe, and Burke is within single digits for the first time in a while here at Tech Boston Academy. 54-45, almost another turnover as that's knocked out of bounds. That'll stay with the Tech Boston Bears. Buko all the way to the bucket, scoring over the top of Galloway there. So another big bucket for a Tech Boston senior brings it back to an 11-point lead for Tech Boston. Almost a turnover as Roberts hits the floater, almost lost it on the way up, cuts it back down to 9. Roberts looking for the turnover there as Fenton couldn't quite pick it up. Then it was Brooks who came away with the loose ball. Coach Williams calls a timeout there for Tech Boston, so they hang on to possession here late in the fourth quarter as the Bears try to close this one out. So very smart timeout that time by Coach Williams. As Burke, this quarter is on a 15-8 run, in large part to Jaden Roberts, who actually has 7 points here in the fourth quarter. So Burke not going away, but Tech Boston, with some seniors here, I'm sure Coach Williams is saying, listen, we have a 9-point lead, under 2 minutes left to go, I believe, right now in this one. We don't need to score, multiple times here. Just try to hang on to possession, work the ball, get a good shot. No reason to try to, fly the ball up the floor like we've been trying to do all game. We're in a different situation now. So this is a learning moment for Tech Boston. Despite being an older team with a bunch of seniors, this is how you salt away a win when you have a 9-point lead. Meanwhile, for the Burke Bulldogs, they have to try to create turnovers. You also wonder when Burke's going to try to start fouling Tech Boston here late in the game. 1:57 left to go. Burke only with 5 team fouls, so they're going to have to commit 2 more fouls just to get Tech Boston in the bonus. They're going to be shooting in the double bonus rather, as they see Clooney all the way to the basket, score the hoop and the harm for Elijah Clooney, who's been probably the best player on the floor tonight. Comes up with another big shot for this Tech Boston team. As you see more senior leadership out of Tech Boston. See if Clooney can complete the 3-point play, but Clooney now with well over 20 points in this one. And he's able to bury the free throw. So back to a 12-point lead here for Tech Boston with about 1:30 left to go. They're just trying to get the clock in the right spot. If they asked to put it back to 140. Looks like they're still having problems with the clock. They're going to settle things here before they get going again. And there's not that much time left. Every second counts, especially for the team trailing. Like I said, double bonus right now for Burke. So, and Burke turns it over in the corner. Clooney to the corner. Bucco thought about a three. Pull up two. Gets it to go. And that just sealed it, I think, for Tech Boston. Now with a 14-point lead. Coming up on minute 15 left to go in this one. Good defense that time by Brooks, and then it goes off of Ramsey Checo. Back to Tech Boston. $15-point lead, 14-point lead rather here for Tech Boston as they see a drive from Bogue who scores off the window. Fenton is fouled on the floor, but he'll be going to the free throw line to shoot two either way. Oh no, it's a 1-and-1. Okay, so they have the team fouls incorrect on the scoreboard. And it's Fenton, this is the front end of the 1-and-1. So only 7 team fouls there for Tech Boston. The scoreboard is incorrect at Tech Boston Academy. Checo fires up a three, can't get it to go. Well under a minute now here for Tech Boston as they try to salt away this 16-point lead over the Burke Bulldogs. As we mentioned in the open, both these teams in position to make the city playoffs. Burke's very close. Them and Charlestown are very much in the very similar positions, games-wise and record-wise. So we'll see if Burke can make the city playoffs. Tech Boston should get in. They're right behind Latin Academy in the Boston North standings. I don't know if they'll catch Latin Academy, but they should squeeze in there as the second team from the Boston North to get into the city playoffs. Both these teams should make the state tournament. They're just like the football season this past fall. They're now at the point where the state's doing the statewide rankings, not just the regional rankings like they've done in the past. That's going to do it from Tech Boston Academy. It's the Tech Boston Bears hanging on to defeat the Burke Bulldogs 64-47. You saw Burke cut it back down to 9 there late in the fourth quarter, but it was Tech Boston who was able to hang on and win at home over their neighborhood rival, Jeremiah Burke Bulldogs. Heck of a game here from Tech Boston. You saw their seniors really come through in the clutch for Tech Boston. You saw Clooney, who had well over 20 points. He hit a couple of big baskets to sort of salt away the win. Burke was coming away with a run. They had that 15-8 run, I believe it was, to cut it back down to a 9-point deficit. But then Clooney comes down, hits a couple of big shots. You saw Bucco hit a big shot towards the end. So you saw the seniors for this Tech Boston team really come through in the clutch, and they were able to knock down those shots. Final stats here for both these teams. For Jeremiah Burke, Singleton, 10 points, 10 rebounds. So he got that double-double, but especially in the second half, Nakeem didn't really get going, didn't have a lot of opportunities inside, especially when it was an up-and-down game. And Nakeem missed a bunch of free throws. So I think, he'll, I'm sure, work on his free throws, try to get things going for the next game. Ramsey Checo, certainly not the type of game that he expects out of himself, just 7 points there tonight. Galloway, 9 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. Fenton, 9 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Roberts, 10 points. He really played well in the second half, had 7 points, I believe, in the second half for Jeremiah Burke. But young team, this team is still learning. Coach Ryan talked about it too. With all the games that are being squeezed in right now, they don't have a lot of practice time. so that's going to be tough too. Burke only actually played one game before they had the pause in the season, so they have had to squeeze a lot of games in here down the stretch, and they're going to have to do so for the next week or so. But you saw the stats there for Burke. For Tech Boston, Bucco, 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. So that's what he's used to doing, double digits. He's got that nice pull-up jumper. We saw him hit that all night tonight, and that's how he was able to score his 15 to go along with the 7 boards. But Elijah Clooney was the best player on the floor tonight, knocking down threes, and then had those big jumpers at the end of the game in the mid-range game. He had 23 total points for Tech Boston, go along with 4 rebounds and an assist. Kurt Brooks got it going there early in the third quarter. He really helped Tech Boston extend their lead to start things off in the third quarter, well over double digits. A double-digit lead for Tech Boston was Brooks able to help them out with. So he had 11 points total with 1 rebound and 3 assists. Jamal Bogue with 2 points, 3 rebounds and 2 assists. And then Blanc, 6 points and 6 rebounds. Kervensley Blanc really did a nice job coming off the bench, giving Tech Boston some size. They don't have a ton of size, but with his 6'5", 6'6" long frame, he was able to help them out with some rebounds and defense on the inside. So, both these teams are clearly talented, and they have great coaches, and both these programs have done really well over the last couple of years. So they're going to make the state tournament. We'll see if both teams make the city playoffs. Burke very young, but still has a lot of talent, and they're a good team. So I could see them making the city playoffs and definitely the state tournament. Tech Boston is going to be, once again, a team that is going to be feared going into the city playoffs. They're very tough to play against. That suffocating defense that they always have is tough to play against, and we'll see how they do in the city postseason. But nobody's going to want to play them in the city postseason, believe me. So we'll see how things unfold over the next week. Like I said, hard to believe. Next week is the first round of the city playoffs. This season is flying by, as crazy as that sounds. Folks, thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Game of the Week. If you want to watch this game again, the first thing you can do is go to our city website, boston.gov/cable. When you go to that site, go to the bottom of the screen, click on Game of the Week, and that'll reroute you to our video library. You can check out any game you want that we've covered in the past, this season, football season, last basketball seasons. Games from 5 or 6 years ago should be up there, so make sure you check that out. And then you can follow us on our social media pages. First, you can go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/GameOfTheWeekBoston. We got a lot of good stuff up on that site, including what games we're going to cover, links to games that we've covered in the past, and also links to watch the games live. We air these games live on YouTube right now, so make sure you check that out because we're going to be doing that as well. And finally, you can follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. When we cover a game, we also tweet out the link and what teams we're going to be covering as well. So follow us on your social media sites and see which games we're going to be covering. City playoffs just around the corner a week from today. Hopefully we'll have our truck out there and we can cover some games with our truck and really give you a great broadcast. Thanks again for joining us here tonight from Boston City TV Studios. We'll see you next time on Game of the Week. Good night, everybody.